Hello, 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 men of the 501st. Welcome back to Weeb Sports, the show here now to tell you a whole heap in the spaghetti pile of information. My name is Evan, and I'm joined tonight by Casey,
Hello, Mario.
Sarah,
Hey.
and Confusion Incarnate. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another guest here tonight, and his name is Evan. Tell us a little bit about yourself, why don't you?
Hi, my name is Evan.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Evan.
I'm a Cancer. No, we're not going to.
Oh my God.
Hi, my name is Evan. I've known Evan for several years.
Yeah, Evan and I have been in bands together since like middle school.
I met Casey once. I had met Sarah once, but now I have. Hello, Sarah.
Hey, you have a very resonant voice, and I really like it.
What mic are you using?
Oh yeah, no, his voice is great.
Oh, thanks. Oh, shucks. I'm using an SM48, which is like the one that you see in like, I don't know, like a concert or a stand-up club or something. Like just your standard black handheld microphone.
I'm just picturing the one you sent, the picture you sent me of you in the broadcasting booth with like the pro setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I could. Yeah.
Yeah.
If people want to see that, I could find it.
It's up to you. So what do you do? What's your major?
What do I do? Yeah, I go to school. I'm the Minnesota one. Oofda, right?
Yeah.
Am I right? Ha ha ha.
Oofda, yeah, he's the one who got us. Is it snowing where you are?
Yeah, it snowed today.
Fuck.
You lucky son of a bitch.
It's very cold. It's very
Oh
icy.
God, I wish. I wish it was cold enough to snow here.
Yeah, I feel for you guys. We had that like a week ago.
Yeah.
70 degrees in November. That's ridiculous. But anyway.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's just crazy. Weather's crazy these days. Really, it is.
We had our first snow in October.
Oh my God. It didn't snow here last year. I think
Yeah.
I mentioned that to you. It didn't snow here.
Yeah.
I was super bummed about it. I'm not gonna lie. I love it when it snows.
Oh, I didn't answer the question, which is I'm a classics major.
You're a classics major.
I'm a classics major. It's fun because people ask me what I'm majoring in, and I say classics, and then they say, "Oh, cool, yeah." So like Dickens? No,
a little older than that, right?
Not classic novels. No, we're talking about the classical age. We're talking about the ancient Romans and the ancient Greeks. That's what I'm about. That's my wheelhouse.
Yeah. And that's what you're here to talk about tonight, right? Dead languages. Well, not dead languages. Maybe dead languages. I honestly don't know. Is ancient Greek similar to normal modern day Greek?
It has some similarities and some differences. I am not totally clear on that because I'm not learning modern Greek.
Sure.
But there are a lot of things over time that have simplified, phased out. But I couldn't tell you exactly all the differences.
Sure. Is there a lot of crossover between Greek and Latin? Because I know the Romans kind of conquered the Greeks. I don't want to just like go completely outside of my field here. He says going completely outside of his field. But I know that the two cultures coexisted for a long time together with one of them ruling the other. That was a really weird way to say that. Is there bleed over in the languages because of that?
Not being very well studied in what sort of things did cross over, I'm not really sure, and I don't know a whole lot about the actual history of languages. There are elements of them that are similar, and I find that having studied Latin for several years does help me in ancient Greek because there are just certain concepts that are shared, but I'm not sure if that's that.
Such as, like, what kind of concepts would those be?
Well, they're both inflected languages, which means that's just the term that you use for language where you attach endings to a root of a word to create meaning. So, like,
is that not a thing that all languages do? I'm genuinely confused. Like some questions I sort of half know the answer to. I took some Latin in high school, but is that not a universal thing within human languages?
No, well, so there are kind of sort of ways that a lot of languages sort of do something similar. Like in English, we can indicate tense by changing walk to walked, and you can make a word plural and all that.
Sure.
But inflected languages usually are, I don't know, there's more to it, and I don't really know what I'm talking about when it comes to this particular piece of terminology. But like Latin and Greek are definitely they have a lot of inflection because you can put different things onto them to indicate like number, gender, case, mood, person,
Sure.
voice, depending on whatever word you're doing. And that's not something in English we do that. We do some of those things with extra words. So like
Yeah.
we can indicate certain tenses by adding like future we say I will walk. That's not doing
Sure.
anything to the verb. That's adding another word that
And
indicates
that changes the time, the tense of it. I was going to try to be all smart, big brained, and say the time in which it occurs, but
Yeah.
that really just changes that changes the timing in which that occurs. It changes the tense of the word from you are doing it now to you will do it at some point in the future. Do those? Is there any? This might be a very dumb question, but is there a specification of time? Like we don't really have that in English. We have I walked and I will walk at some ambiguous point. And then we have words to clarify that. We have I will walk soon, I will walk later, I will walk tomorrow, I will walk next week. Are there any kind of built-in timings in Greek, in ancient Greek?
Not really.
Oh,
Not in this. Well, no. So are you saying like something that does indicate a specific?
would there be an ending that indicates yes, that indicates time? Like, is there a say you take the word for walk and you put it in the tense where you are signifying it means I will walk? Is there then a word ending or something you can affix to that word that connotates when you will do it from a series of connotators? Like, is there I will walk soon, I will walk later, I will walk yesterday, fuck it, whatever. Like, does that exist, or is there any or sort of thing in that vein?
It does have tenses, but they don't really become more of like super that specific. You
Sure.
could say you could say I will walk later, but you would add a word.
You would add another word.
But you would use the future tense
Sure.
for that.
Does ancient Greek have all the same tenses that we do in English and that Latin does? I mean, actually, that's a falsehood. Latin and English don't have necessarily all the same tenses. Do they mostly share tenses with each other? Kind of Greek and Latin, and to a longer extent, modern English. Or is there a great difference in the different tenses between the three?
All right, here we go. All right. We've talked about this a little bit before, so
we have. I was kind of leading you into the question. Let's go. Yeah.
First of all, Casey and Sarah, you keeping up?
Kinda.
Yes.
Do either of you have language learning background?
Nah, man.
I know syllables in Italian, which led my voice teacher to think I knew Italian when in reality I know no Italian, despite my last name being very Italian and my family still having people living in Italy right now. I know no Italian.
Okay, wait. I have a legit question.
Yeah, do go.
So Evan is a classics major.
No, Evan is a music education major.
No,
All
no.
right.
No.
Yes,
My
me.
thing
All
is,
right.
my thing is, okay, we're talking about languages though, but like, is language what you specialize in, or do you specialize in like the culture, or like what is it?
Yes, this is a good question. Because this is another question that I frequently have to answer. Yeah, the main focus is on reading the texts. So
Okay.
you would learn if you come in with no knowledge, you spend the first couple semesters learning one of the languages, and then you do a few semesters reading the texts. So Greek is newer to me. I started it last year, and so there were 2 semesters. Well, actually, we ended up bleeding into this semester as well of just learning from a textbook. And then the second half of this semester, we've been reading Plato. And
Okay.
that's and in future semesters, like we'll be reading more like the actual language. With that, just inherently comes some discussion of the society and the culture and the history, because all of that stuff is very relevant to the text. Like we're reading Plato's Apology of Socrates. And so that comes with that's what Socrates supposedly said at his trial before he was sentenced death. So in all these speeches, you get lots of hints at the magistrates and the judicial system and how the courts worked. And so when we're reading it, we do end up inevitably talking about some of that stuff. And another requirement for the major is an ancient history class that's just like in the history department that doesn't involve the language at all. So there's a little bit of that, but the main thing that we do is study the languages. And that's what I find most interesting. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. The reason I ask is because the rest of us are music majors and I'm the furthest along in my music classes, and we go through music history and we learn that a lot of our music that we like are studying and we have studied take on and focus on the ideals of the classical era. They want to take these ideas from that time and shape them into today's society, or what was today's society like back the 1700s, like they have this fantasy of the classical era. So that's how it ties into my understanding.
Yeah, it has always been a very popular time period, and one that a lot of people try to emulate.
Also, we mentioned on last week / night / next Tuesday's recording that Casey tested positive for the virus and I tested for the virus. Yeah, Casey's apparently doing fine. He says that wasn't
Yeah,
like
he's doing all right. Don't worry about
Yeah,
him.
Casey's doing all right. I tested negative. I got my results back today. So we're clear. I went out of the house today. I put on socks for the first time this week because I got tested on Monday. It's Thursday now.
I get dressed up while I'm around here because it makes me feel like a person. Right now, I'm in a dress shirt.
Weren't you in pajama pants?
I know, but it was later in the day.
Okay.
Yeah, like for dinner, I was dressed up. I still have another week. This day, like Thursday next week, I'm off of quarantine.
Are you actually safe to go back out of the house? Are you not
Yes.
contagious at that point?
Yes, there's a lot, the science behind it. I'm shedding virus, but it's not contagious. It can't reproduce. It's a whole thing because I could technically test positive for the next 60 days because I'm technically shedding a dead version of the virus that'll still get picked up on tests. It's a whole thing, but I will not be contagious after that point. And even then, I probably wouldn't be contagious within the next couple of days because there's like they're just like, all right, so this is where the actual lockdown period should be, and we're gonna add like 4 days.
Sure.
That's what they did for social distancing. A sneeze goes up to about 4 feet, and they were like, yeah, let's just add 2 to that, and that'll be 6 feet, and then you'll stay there. And that's what they're doing a lot of places. It's like, well, technically the science says this, but we're just going to be a little bit more excessive just to be sure.
Yeah, honestly, good for them.
Exactly, and it works.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
To a certain
Everybody
extent.
wear
You hear
your
about that
mask,
vaccine that they
kids.
might be developing?
Yep.
Thank God for
Wear your
that.
mask, kids.
Cannot come soon enough. Get your
Wear your
shots.
Wear your
If
fucking
you listen
mask.
to this, get your fucking shots. I tweeted the other day about making brass knuckles with needles on the end of it, loading up with the COVID vaccine, and just throat punching people.
Oh,
I jokingly refer to them as breedles, if you will. Brass knuckle needles. And
Oh.
it was a joke for legal reasons. I'm not going to go around throat punching people, but get your fucking shots.
I might just go around throat punching people who don't get this vaccine. No, I don't have any way to give them the vaccine. I'll just
Walks up to,
punch
lick the
them.
name, and be like, "Ha!" You know he's not going to. Sorry, Evan. We're just talking about people at our school now, but he's going to be like, "It's just the common cold."
By far, my favorite thing about seeing on Snapchat, all of his posts the leading up to the election were like, "Yeah, go out."
Was it
and vote,
leather
everybody."
or spikes or Trump or all three?
And no, it was that. And then as soon as the election hit, and he's coping with the lack of his candidate winning, it's just been like, "Oh, look at this nice landscape! Look, everything's so nice outside. Everything's so we know you're sad."
My grandfather is a Trump supporter. He posted a thing on Facebook the day after the election. It was a picture of him he was taking a picture from his phone while he was driving a car because he has a bunch of old cars. It was him. He's like, "Nice day out for a drive," and he was fucking white knuckle gripping the wheel. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it was "Nice day for a relaxing drive," and it was the day after the election.
Nice
He
day
was
for
furiously
relaxing
grasping the wheel.
drive. I'm relaxed right now. I'm definitely not fucking insane.
My favorite image is that one. It's like the screaming guy Wojak with the red MAGA hat, and it says, "No, you can't just count all the votes. That's fraud." I am a shithead with that on Twitter. I posted in Trump's replies and Ben Shapiro's replies and Caitlin Bennett's replies. I think I'm blocked by her now. And regardless, people come to my replies are like, "Actually, all the legal votes will be counted. It's the illegal ones." And I'm like, okay, you want to show some evidence that there was a lot of mail fraud this election or any at all? And then they don't respond.
Yeah, they don't.
No, they don't. They just leave. Seriously. Okay. To all of you listening at home, if you believe sincerely that there was serious mail fraud this election, I want to read the evidence of it. I want to know where you're coming from. I believe that you are wrong, but because I have no evidence to state that you are right. That's just how I roll. If you have some wombo combo triple finisher evidence spirit bomb that will prove to me that Sleepy Joe rigged the fucking election, send that shit in. That's what I want from the fans. I want evidence that Joe Biden framed the election. Send it to the account, weebsportspod@gmail.com.
That's my episode. Whatever election fraud we get in our email.
Oh no, I'm putting that as part of my next episode when I talk about QAnon.
Damn, bud.
Oh, of course. I forgot because Evan's hardcore Q-pilled.
I am not. Okay, you gotta stop fucking saying that, or else I'm gonna start saying that you're horny and depressed. Like,
I'm actually neither of those things, sir.
Horny's not in his vocabulary because
I have anxiety. That's what I have.
I'm not like hardcore Q-pilled implies that I believe in QAnon. I don't.
I know.
I just see a lot of it on my feed because I follow people who retweet idiotic shit. Like, ironically,
I'm just making a joke because, like, if I think we're on like a 4-episode streak
where I just bring up QAnon. The funniest thing is that they've rejected it now. I found this tweet, like from the day after the election. It was this guy, Aubrey Huff, I think was his name. Apparently, he's like a fight guy, boxer, something MMA. Right? And he tweeted like QAnon was a demonic plot by the Dems to force us all into a false sense of security. Like they've just completely 180'd on QAnon as.
Oh damn.
Yeah, they have. It's like that whole thing with the doomsday cult where like when their prediction is proven wrong, they just double down on their faith.
Damn, bro. In
the days up to the election, it was because Q is never wrong and Q says that Trump will win the presidency, QAnon must be right, which is some Ouroboros logic, straight up. And then when he lost, I've seen theories ranging from QAnon was a plant by the deep state and we have to go a layer deeper because Q is a fraud, straight up to Q is Joe Biden. That's a real thing that I've seen people say.
Call him Q Biden.
Yeah. Evan, how much do you know about QAnon?
Oh, we're doing this now.
I've learned more and more recently because I've been forced to, just because it's been prominent. Yeah, isn't it some anonymous figure named Q who was supposed to be publishing secrets about stuff or whatever?
Yeah, so Q was publishing secrets on like 4chan and internet forums and shit like that. And apparently they predict mass arrests, and they say that Hillary and the Clintons are part of a massive child sex trafficking ring. Do you remember a couple of years ago, back when there was that whole thing where there was the rumor started that Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton were running a child sex brothel out of a pizza shop? And it got so bad.
I forget.
Yeah, Pizzagate, exactly. Yeah, that's QAnon. That was part of a Q drop.
Aha.
Yep. And QAnon is just this massive conspiracy that there's a cabal of rich Democrats who are like harvesting children's organs for a miracle chemical that makes them live longer. And it's just, it's so dumb. And basically, if you are woke to QAnon, you just start accepting all these crazy conspiracy theories about how, Donald Trump is gonna Donald Trump is gonna lead the country to a better tomorrow. I'm not really sure how. I'm not like that deep into knowing my QAnon lore, but it's crazy. It's every batshit conspiracy theory about the government was hiding it and faked the moon landing and the Earth is flat and the Clintons are harvesting children and Trump is gonna win the election because Q knows all the secrets and there are gonna be mass arrests. And it's just when I say it, it sounds like babble because it is. It's just every conspiracy babble thrown into a fucking blender and ground into a fine dust and then snorted. That's QAnon.
Do you want to do a couple lines of QAnon later tonight, bro?
Oh my god, dude. Fuck me right up with some of that QAnon shit. And anyway, now they're rejecting it because the Q prediction that Trump was going to win the election didn't come true. Logically, the logical conclusion there, obviously, the big-brained rational thoughts and logic conclusion there is that QAnon was actually a ploy all along. We need to go a level deeper. We can no longer trust QAnon. It's like an ARG. It's honestly like an ARG.
Makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Evan, we were talking about languages, I think.
Were we?
I believe at some point. I know, right?
Oh.
It's crazy. We were talking about the tenses, and we were talking about we were going to talk about the aorta's tense, I think.
You said it wrong.
Did I?
Yeah. That's okay.
Shit.
Well.
Wowza.
Wow, yeah.
So,
Bowser, what's the tense called?
So long, Bowser.
Holy shit, that was good. Oh my god, that was clean. Anyway, tenses, and that one that I apparently don't know how to say.
Yeah, so we discovered that there are varying amounts of language study in this group here, which is fine. So tenses, I assume though that we all have some idea of what tenses are.
I'm always tense all the time. I'm shaking.
Me too. But English technically English technically has a bunch if you want to break them all down. Oh, by the way, I looked up inflection, and English does have inflection, just not as much as Latin. So, fun facts.
Cool.
Yeah, so yeah, English technically has like a bunch of tenses depending on like how you can break them down into present simple, present continuous or whatever. I don't know.
Sure.
Pretty much most of the time we just kind of think of them as past, present, and future, right? Good old Christmas Carol style.
Yeah. It's actually past, present, and yet to come.
Christmas yet to come. Yes, I know.
Let's say hypothetically, for the sake of argument, you
No.
fucked up the names of the ghosts.
Nope.
And
Nope. Hey, I memorized the first 2 paragraphs of A Christmas Carol, so I think I know what I'm talking about.
I only know Marley was dead to begin with. That's as far as I know.
There is no doubt whatever of that. The register. Okay, we're not going to do that now.
No, do it.
Oh, damn. Oh,
Okay,
good for
so
you.
should I say clerk like an American or Clark like a Britishman?
It's up to you. I feel like the actor gets to choose the way they inflect their own role.
Okay, I've been saying Clark just because I'm used to hearing that on the audiobooks. So, Marley was dead to begin with. There is no doubt whatever of that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it, and Scrooge's name was good upon change for anything he chose to put his hand to. Old Marley was as dead as a doornail. Mind, I don't mean to say that I know of my own knowledge what there is particularly dead about a doornail. I might have been inclined myself to regard a coffin nail as the deadest piece of ironmongery in the trade. But the wisdom of our ancestors is in the simile, and my unhallowed hands shall not disturb it, or the country's done for. You will therefore permit me to repeat, emphatically, that Marley was as dead as a doornail.
God, I could listen to you read the news. You have a wonderful voice.
Want to hear me recite a Latin poem?
I know you, and that was impressive.
I just texted Casey and I was like, wow, I can't get over his voice.
Yeah.
You
His
guys.
voice is so good.
Oh, well, so I recited that. Would you like to hear a Latin poem?
Sure. And then we should talk about tenses.
Yeah, or maybe we could end with the Latin. Be better.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about tenses and then
Cool.
poem, and then that'll be about 40-ish minutes, depending on how we get. Just talk about tenses, and then we'll cut it from there.
Okay. So, yes, English, we like to kind of just break it up into 3, past, present, and yet to come. But Evan, if you'll remember from Latin, we break it up into several more. You've got present.
Of course, yes.
You got present, and just because, I don't know, I'll pick praise because the intro Latin textbook that they use here likes the word praise. So we'll use that one. You've got present, I praise, or I am praising, or something. You've got future, I will praise. Okay, great. Then you have imperfect, which is I was praising. You've got perfect, I praised. You've got pluperfect, that's a fun one. I had praised. And then you've got like future perfect, I will have praised, and stuff like that, but that one's rarer.
Yes.
So yes, that's most of what Latin. Greek, ancient Greek has all of those, but they also have it. I don't know why I said they. Ancient Greek also has the aorist tense. A-O-R-I-S-T. Put it in the chat for you. The aorist tense. Now, what the heck is the aorist tense? I hear you
Do
ask.
tell. Casey,
Good
get off Twitter. I
question.
can see you. I have notifications on.
Do you judge me for my activity while discussing wood opinions in Minecraft?
Yes. What is the aorist tense?
The aorist tense is a type of sort of past-ish tense. So, okay. Another language thing that is not very prominent, not super prominent in English or Latin, but is more prominent in Greek. It is the concept of aspect. Aspect refers to whether an action, like this, the state of completion of an action. So in Greek, there are 3, or at least 3 that you have to worry about. Perfective, imperfective, and aoristic. So this, by what I mean by state of completion, is like, if I say, I am praising, well, what does that mean? That means that the praising is happening right now, and it's in the process of happening. It's not done yet. It's a current event.
Okay.
And so that would have imperfective aspect because it's not finished. Perfect, by the way, comes from Latin and kind of basically means finished. When something is
Okay.
perfect, you have nothing more to do. You're
It is
finished.
completed. Yeah.
So imperfective is like that. And that's the same with the imperfect tense. I was praising. Now you're talking about an action in the past, but you're talking about it while the action is still ongoing. So perfective aspect then would be like I praised. In a point in the
Sure.
past, the praising happened, and now it's done. Aoristic aspect is a funky one, and it refers to an event that occurs on one occasion, and one occasion only, and then it's done. A good example for a verb that often takes aoristic aspect would be to hit. Say, if
Okay.
you hit somebody, well, what that action is like just a little smack. It's very quick, and then it's done. It's a one-time thing.
It's one
You could
time
also
in that instance though. Because when you first started talking about it, I'm like, oh, you mean like born or died? But no, it's like I didn't hit you continuously with one punch. I hit you once and then I was completed that punch.
yeah, born or died
Sure.
are also good though. Those could be good.
Yes, but like the way I was thinking about it, I'm like, true great literal once in a lifetime things.
Oh, I see. Yeah. No. Yeah, you could also
No, you just mean
say
like
like I ate my dinner. Well,
sure,
I
you
can't
only ate the
uneat it
dinner
and eat it
once.
again. Exactly.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's
It's
aoristic.
like a rectangle square thing. Like
Yeah.
where like all some actions are truly permanent, but not all.
Yeah.
Some actions are truly permanent within their instance, and not all things that are permanent within their instance are actually permanent.
Yeah. So that's aoristic aspect. And so aorist tense and there are a usage of this is a little flexible. It doesn't have to be just you can sort of fudge it a little bit like, oh, I don't know, should that have aoristic aspect? I don't know. Yeah, you can kind of wiggle with it. But yeah, so the aorist tense has aoristic aspect, and it
Sure.
often refers to a past time. So it's translated sort of like how we would translate perfect in Latin. Perfect in Latin is just I praised.
Yeah.
That's usually how you would translate an aorist thing. Just it
Okay.
happened in the past and now it's done and it's not ongoing.
Sure.
So
No,
actually,
there's a lot of translations. Like actually, I have one language fact I know. I have one, and it's a religious fact. And I was just saying this is a similar thing. I noticed English is not a language that has a lot of shit going on when it comes to like different like tenses, and sometimes like things can be translated very boringly. Like for example, there's a Bible verse in which Peter is asked by Jesus, "Hey, do you love me?" And he says, "Yes, I love you." And they ask that question back. They ask that question back and forth to each other like 5 times. And so if you're reading it in English, it's just like, oh, okay. They're just asking the same question. But in the original Koine Greek, it's every time is a different version of the word love until finally
Huh.
it's resolved in the end. And it's very interesting because it loses all that meaning when the translation. And it's like, so Jesus asks, like, do you love me like a brother? It's like, I love you like a friend. Do you love me like a teacher? I love you like a friend. Do you love me like, it's like all sorts of different ways. It's like there's different connotations of the word and it's lost entirely in the translation. That sounds kind of similar to this, where you're losing two entirely different tenses because when you translate it to English, it's just past tense.
very, very good fact. Yes,
Yeah.
that's a perfect example of why English sucks.
See, I have been listening.
Yeah. Good
I
job.
never doubted you much.
Good job. You get a gold star.
Oh, yeah, get a gold star?
You're a
Good noodle. Okay.
Yay!
Okay.
We
Lucky
can,
star. Cool.
we can do it. We can go back and forth now. Do not
Oh.
doubt my abilities.
Oh, I don't.
Oh,
I
you
do
should
not dare challenge you.
Well, no, you
You could
fine.
probably challenge him.
Yeah,
It'll be fun to
bitch.
challenge you, but not now.
another time.
Oh, I forgot another slight translation nuance, which is in Latin, the perfect tense can be translated I praised, or I did praise, or I have praised. But in Greek, usually, aorist you translate as I praised, and perfect you translate as have praised. So there's a slight little nuance for you. I just
So they
thought
give
of
you a
that.
little.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. No, that's neat. That's really cool.
Oh! You know what else is fun about aorist? And
What's
actually,
fun
I
about
want to
Aorist?
check something in my little textbook, so I'm saying something
You're not
wrong.
just talking out your ass here.
Yeah, where is that? That's chapter 20, I believe. Yeah. Okay. So there are different types of words like indicatives and subjunctives and optatives and imperatives. But imperatives are like commands. So praise that
Okay.
guy. Do
Praise
it.
him.
you
Yeah,
know?
guy.
Praise
Good
Caesar.
job.
Or whoever
Yeah.
you happen to be praising at that time.
Praise that guy. Oh, and fun fact,
Stop that man.
that's gotta stop that man. That's a
Or it
second
stops
person
me.
imperative where you're commanding somebody to do it. But did you know that you can have third person imperatives as well? You do that like let him be praised. Isn't that kind of fun? But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. Well,
Would second person be like you praise him or something like that?
yeah, it's like it's an implied there's an implied you. So you're like talking to somebody. It's like, hey you,
I always think of
praise that
like
guy.
I always think of second person as like text-based adventure games. It's like you walk down the hallway,
Oh yeah.
or at least
I
English
mean,
second person.
yeah, no, that's second person.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
But another fun fact about the aorist is, usually in a past tense, well, it's possible to have imperatives in the past, but it's a little weird, right?
Yeah.
Because how are you going to command somebody to do something in the past, right? That's kind of weird. That's kind of impossible.
Christopher
But
Nolan, just his eyes light up right now.
oh
That's the plot of
yeah,
his next movie. It's two mercenaries, and they gotta figure out a way to command a guy to do something in the past using radios and like a Greek textbook.
ooh.
The technology is never explained, and it's called like vibrafrequency or something like that.
And Matthew
I would
McConaughey's
watch
in it.
it. Oh, yeah.
Okay, who's in this? It's Matthew McConaughey, Idris Elba,
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock. Okay, who's your comedian who should not be in a Christopher Nolan movie? Who's in this
Megan.
movie?
Melissa McCarthy. Melissa McCarthy. She's.
I was
going
gonna
to
say John Mulaney.
John. No.
Okay, you hate John Mulaney, but like, look
I
at this
don't hate John
objectively.
Mulaney. I just don't see him as a film actor. I see him as he was a good voice actor. I don't think I could see him pulling off a Nolan movie. I could
Or
see
like,
Melissa McCarthy
who's
doing
a
a
good
Nolan
one?
movie.
I say Rachel McCartney, but she's an asshole.
I mean, so is Melissa McCarthy, from what I've heard. I don't know, actually. I can't substantiate that claim.
Melissa McCarthy never went on Twitter and said that, like, bi culture is getting raped. Like,
Jesus. Yeah, you're right. That is
Rachel
a good
McCarthy
point.
said some shit. Who's a good?
I'm trying to think who else is going to be in this movie.
I seriously think John Mulaney would be a good idea.
Who's our old guy? Who's our emotional center old guy? Really? I was thinking Mark Hamill.
Nah.
Is it
You
not Michael Caine?
Oh, good
No,
point.
you're right. It's Michael Caine.
It's Michael Caine.
He's in all of them. It has
He's
to
in
be.
all of them.
It's Michael Caine. You're right.
I always feel sad that they never got Alex Trebek to do that kind of role.
I'm
Maybe
also
it's like a
sad.
short little thing. I mean, they never will now, but
Yeah. May he rest in peace.
the last episode is airing on Christmas. He
That's
filmed
what he would've
35
wanted.
more episodes.
That's what he would have wanted.
As we say in ancient Rome, STTL. Sit tibi terra levis.
Oh.
May the earth rest lightly on you.
No, I want that earth to rest heavy. Yeah, that shit just like weigh your ass down.
Speaking of Latin.
Okay.
Speaking of Latin, did you have a Latin poem?
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot my aorist fact, which is that the aorist has imperatives. Okay, that's it.
Oh, it does. It does.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that, or
I mean, that was it mostly. I don't know. It's like you translated in the past, which you wouldn't expect it to have imperatives, but it does because you're just telling somebody to perform an action that is not going to repeat. So hit that guy. That's aorist. Cool. Anyway, that's all
Sure.
I had. Latin poem.
We should definitely use "Stop That Man" from How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying as the outro music for this.
Oh wait, I have my trombone kazoo. It's gonna sound horrible. Ready?
Oh my god!
Prepare yourselves, listeners.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a good kazoo. So
Is it a
Correct.
kazoo or does it actually have a slide on it? I forget.
that's it because it has it has a slide, but it doesn't. It's just for show.
Okay, yeah.
Play the lick.
Evan, I have. Do you remember the homecoming trumpets from like my freshman year?
Um.
The plastic trumpets.
Yes.
It's on my shelf right now. Hold on a minute.
Oh boy.
Let's take my earbuds
Oh
out.
boy.
Oh.
Yeah, you remember. this.
Yeah.
Quick, say something, Matt. Say something mean about Evan. Oh, Jesus.
God, my God.
Oh, Jesus.
And that's all I'm gonna do because someone's gonna come into my room and be like, "Go the fuck to sleep."
It's going to be me. I'll drive my COVID positive ass up there and tell you to go to sleep.
I will
I'll
hit you with a
fly
rake.
home and
We're all just going to appear at your house at the same time. It's going to be a super spreader event. I'm
I
just
have a
going to
Nerf
give
gun.
everybody good point.
It's the Nerf Hailfire. It's the semi-auto one where it's like, and you can like as fast.
I'm going
as
to go
you
to Target. I'm going to buy that big drum we were looking at that one time, and then I'm going to show up.
I have a shed.
How much did that
Yeah.
cost?
It was like $50.
Sarah, you down for splitting the cost of a giant Nerf gun?
I want to have a Nerf gun fight, like an actual like Yeah.
You
I'd
should
be
do
down.
paintball sometime.
I'm actually good at paintball, surprisingly.
I've never shot like a weapon in real life. I mean, not a paintball gun can do some damage, but it's not like a weapon.
It hurts like shit.
Yeah.
And for somebody, I have a positive I have a high pain tolerance,
you're
and that shit
positive.
still hurts. Oh yes, I'm positive
For COVID-19.
for COVID-19. It's fucking spectacular.
Speaking of things that are fucking spectacular, Evan, poetry. Ain't it grand?
Yeah. Well, first, I just started thinking about home when I talked about flying home, and
Oh.
I remembered that I was singing the praises of Wawa to some very confused
Oh,
and
hell
ignorant
yeah.
Minnesotans earlier.
Ah,
So that was
fucking
fun.
Minnesotans. They call it pop
Actually-
over there, don't they?
They do.
Oh my god. You better not come home. So you better not come home calling it pop, bud.
Never.
Yo, road trip
Yeah.
to get guest
They
Evan a bunch of
They should call it
Wawa.
Minipop.
I'll be home in 2 weeks. It's fine.
Well,
You
then
will?
at that
Why
point,
is it
I'll
that
go.
soon?
Yeah, we'll get some Wawa then.
Yeah. Thanksgiving's 2 weeks from today.
Holy
I'm
shit.
skipping out on my family's Thanksgiving and going.
Oh, fuck,
to
we're not going to be able to
Wawa
record
with
on Thanksgiving.
friends, which is why we're getting a backlog episode. Wow, it's almost
that's
like
fair.
Casey thought ahead. He
No
doesn't
offense,
do
I
that.
did not consider the possibility that you thought ahead.
I totally understand, but yeah, I was like, hey, let's at least get one backlog episode in.
I kind of figured the reason we were doing this is because yesterday I texted the group chat, hey, are we recording tonight? Because I thought it was Thursday.
Well, when you did that, I then thought, okay, let's do both nights because we can get it so that Thanksgiving we don't have to record.
Get it? Anyway,
Yeah, dude.
You're so smart.
poetry.
You're so smart and cool and funny and strong. Okay.
Just
I
veering
don't know that.
insults. I mean, like, you're like actually so dumb. I sound like the name.
Oh, okay. That's a person. I thought that was a movie character. Shit. Okay, I'll look that name.
It's a person.
I get that. I get
She's
it.
now. She's teaching middle school
Really?
Spanish. Yeah.
Spanish. Oh.
Yeah, I know. She was a Spanish major. She was a Spanish music major.
Huh.
American.
I guess
She was
I
a
kind of
Spanish-
remember that. Yeah.
I know for at first I thought she was SII, but no, she wasn't. She was something else. Actually,
think that
Sarah,
she-
you might know her.
Who?
Do you know French horn major would have graduated she was a senior my senior year at high school. I think, right?
I'm not sure.
I
She
don't think
would-
so. I don't think I
Alright.
know her.
She would have been like student teaching if you two were in school at the same time at all.
Do you, Evan? Do you think we should look the name of the school where she's at now,
Yeah, probably should.
I was going to.
and also her the
Yeah.
second time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm writing it down now. I started the stopwatch when he did his introduction, and I've been writing down the times where I have to lick things.
Smart.
Smart man.
Top man.
Anywho, Latin
Oh yeah.
poetry.
Yeah.
What do
So
you mean Latin
context.
jazz?
The context for this is for my Latin class this semester. We are reading Horace poetry by Horace.
Okay.
And
God of Falcon.
nah, yeah, sure. But spelled differently and not that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So right, this class came with an oral communication general education requirement, which I
Ooh.
didn't need, but the way
Evan knows how to talk the words.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, like I'd earned it already. That's what I mean.
sure. Yeah.
But the way that was satisfied was during our last three, these past 3 class days, we've had a recitation competition. So we all had to memorize one of Horace's odes or epodes, one of the ones that we read,
All right.
and then recite it from memory in front of everybody else live. We're doing it live. So
Sounds fun.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
right. I actually did mine earlier today, and I thought it was pretty all right. So yeah, so that's why I have this memorized. Why do I have a Christmas Carol memorized? Because I did that instead of memorizing this poem.
Understandable.
But eventually I got around to it, and so now I have this one memorized. So I'll recite it first, and then I'll tell you what it means if you want to know more about what it means. But
Of course, yeah.
because it gets funny. So this is Horace's Epodes 3. All right. Parentis olim si quis impia manu senile gutur fregerit. Edit cicutis alium nocentius. O dura mesorilia. Quid hoc veneni saevit in praecordiis? Num viperinus his cruor in coctus herbis me fefelit. An malas canidia tractavit dapes? Ut argonautas, praeter omnis candidum Medea merates ducem, ignota tauris illigatorum iuga, per unxit hoc Iasonem, hoc delibutis, ulta donis paelecem serpente fugit alite. Nec tantus umquam sider insedit vapor siticulos apuliae, nec munus umeris efficaces Hercules in arset aestuosius. At si quid umquam tale concupiveris iocosemae cenas, precor manum puella savio ponat tuo, extremet in sponda cubet. That's the end.
Beautiful.
I recognized a Yuga from hearing say it a bunch of times. But
Also, I have one comment to make.
Oh, lick that name.
yeah,
I
look the name.
will. The whole time, you sounded like Hank Green. Like
There was
You-
somebody in high school who told me that I remind them a lot of Hank Green. So that's not the
You
first time I've
while you were saying we can.
Who
hear
told
Latin,
you they
it sounded like
they reminded them of Hank Green?
lick the name.
Yeah, I saw her about a year ago at Barnes and Noble.
Ah.
because he's a member there.
No, this was before I was a member.
Oh, the pre-member days.
I've only been a member a month and a half. I was there, and they're like,
recent-
"Hey, are you a member?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Would you like to be?" I'm like, "You know what? Sure."
You being
I'm
an
here making
adult.
impulse buys all the time. I'll be a member.
You know, it saves me money. Like the book, the Death Note book that I bought tonight. It's listed as $39.99. I paid like $38.50 for it.
Oh man, that's solid. That's solid.
Wow.
So I get like in-store savings and monthly coupons and shit,
Yeah, that's good
and also
stuff.
free shipping.
That was a nice. That was very nice. It was very
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you.
But what
And
does it
Evan-
mean?
Yeah. And Evan, that was the wrong Yuga. It was not Yuga. It was Yuga, which is a
Shit.
yoke, like a yoke you'd put on.
Get fucked.
I recognize some words, like I recognize like Olim in there at one point, like little words like that. I'm gonna be real. I've retained almost none of Latin.
That's
It's kinda
totally
sad,
fine.
to be honest. But
So that poem, that very serious, dramatic poem, is about garlic.
what?
Beautiful.
Specifically, Horace's friend Maecenas gave him something that had a little too much garlic in it, and it was a little too spicy for him. And so he wrote this poem telling Maecenas, well, that's too much garlic. This must be what Medea used to poison Jason's
shit.
other girl.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as too much garlic.
This must be hotter than the thing that ended up burning up Hercules in the end. If you ever do this to me again, Maecenas, I hope that no girl ever gives you any of her attention.
So he was
Bro,
subtweeting.
if you give me too much garlic again, you're never gonna get fucking laid.
Exactly.
Just gave you too much garlic, Casey.
Shut the fuck up. I'm Italian. There's no such thing as too much garlic.
I chose this poem because I relate to it because although garlic is delicious and I can't deny that. I'm very sensitive, I guess. And sometimes onions and garlic, if there's too much, it lingers in my mouth for the rest of the day and I hate that. So that's why I chose that poem.
Yeah, valid. Huh. That's really cool.
So now my professor's always like, hey, now you know a poem. So you never know when having a poem memorized might help you. And so now I have that memorized for any situation in which I have to face.
Yeah. If you ever got
I
a
don't
bitch
know.
about garlic, you
Yeah,
got it, bro.
garlic. There's one that's like that talks about like if you recite it, then you'll be safe from wolves or whatever. Mine is if I recite it, people won't give me garlic.
Cool. Yeah, cool.
Garlic is good though.
Life is better for knowing that, honestly.
Yeah, man.
I'm still thinking about garlic.
And I'm thinking that was a banging recording session. Evan, thank you for coming, man. This was a whole lot of fun.
Well, thank you for having me.
And
No
thanks for
problem.
coming, man.
All right, ladies, gentlemen, people at home, thank you so much for listening. This has been Weeb Sports. My name is Evan, and I was joined tonight by Casey
Yo.
and Sarah
Yeah, man.
and my friend Evan. And I don't think that was too fucking confusing. I'm gonna be real. I think that was a pretty good session. I
Yeah.
don't think it was too confusing at all. But like I said, Evan, thank you so much for having us. We're the Weeb Sports Podcast.
What? Did you just thank me for having you?
I think I did.
It's his podcast.
Evan, thank
now.
you so
We're
much for
the
being
guests.
on the show. All of you
course.
out there, thank you for listening. We are the Weeb Sports Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Weeb Sports Pod. Send us an email at weebsportspod@gmail.com. We'd absolutely love to hear from you. We definitely didn't get fan mail from this week because the fan who sends us mail was otherwise engaged, let's just say. But yeah, we didn't get any fan mail, so send us shit in the future. Send us, evidence for Joe Biden rigging the election or Crunchyroll sponsorship offers or whatever the fuck. We'll sell the fuck out. I don't care. That's a joke. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. Have a good night. Take care. Sleep tight. Relax. Unwind.
Would you like to say goodbye in Greek?
Yeah, let's say goodbye in Greek. How do you say goodbye in Greek? What the fuck, Zypete?
Yep. So that's I typed it in the chat for all you listening at home.
Yeah, I don't read Greek.
For everyone listening, here's
I-
the Greek that I typed in the Discord chat.
Yep. So what that says is kairata.
Kairata?
Yeah, that's one that's like a greeting or a farewell. So it just means be well, or no, actually it's like be happy sort of thing.
All right, I'll thank you all for listening. Kairata.
Big deal, big rocket. Thinks he has the world in his pocket. Gotta stop, gotta stop.